What if there's this one single command that the first disciples lived by? A command that unlocked just incredible spiritual power. A key that honestly has been almost completely forgotten, but it has the power to change literally everything. Today, we're going to dig into a principle that most of us are just ignoring. And this right here, it really gets to the heart of it. This isn't some gentle suggestion. It is a command, and it's the key that unlocks spiritual victory. See, in God's kingdom, the rules are often the complete opposite of what we'd expect. Obedience comes first, and our emotions, well, they just have to learn to follow. So that just begs this huge question, right? What if our entire approach to this has been totally backward? We're all sitting around waiting for our feelings to give us the green light to obey, when maybe, just maybe, God is waiting for our obedience to completely transform our feelings. Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea. A forgotten command. This has nothing to do with your feelings or your circumstances. It's a direct instruction for tapping into a whole other level of spiritual power. Just think about where this command comes from. We're talking about the Apostle Paul, writing this from a prison cell. He doesn't say, hey, rejoice when things are going great. He doesn't suggest, try to be happy if you feel like it. No, he commands it. Not once, but twice. It is an unconditional, non-negotiable directive. And that right there, that totally reframes what rejoicing's all about. Biblically speaking, it's not that happy little feeling you get from good news. It is an act of faith. It's a choice of pure obedience. It's you deciding by faith that God's reality is more real than whatever your emotional weather report is saying today. And you just let your feelings catch up when they're ready. Okay, so here's where we run into a huge problem. The feelings first lie. Our modern culture has this completely backward. We've become a generation that's been totally discipled by our feelings, and we treat them like they're the ultimate judge of what's true and what we should do. How many times have you heard this? Or let's be real, how many times have we said it? Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. It's become the go-to excuse for doing nothing. And then there's this one, its close cousin. I just don't feel motivated. We act like motivation is this magical pixie dust we have to wait for. Not getting that motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you create through obedience. It's the spark that comes from just starting the engine. And of course, the big one. My emotions just aren't in the right place. We wait for this perfect, calm, inspired emotional state before we dare to pray or worship. We're basically sitting at a spiritual red light, waiting for our feelings to turn green. But guess what? That signal is almost never coming. So let's just call this what it is. The feelings first lie is the myth that our spiritual maturity somehow depends on us having our emotions perfectly aligned and ready to go. It's a belief that keeps so many of us stuck in neutral, waiting for a feeling of readiness that might never arrive, and it totally paralyzes our spiritual growth. Okay, but here's the game changer. Here's the truth that just shatters that lie. Through your obedience, your spirit has actually been given authority over your soul and your emotions. This is how obedience literally rewires you. Your feelings, they were created to be amazing followers, but they make for terrible, terrible leaders. You gotta think of it like this. Your feelings are like little puppets. They just tag along with whatever decision your spirit makes. So when your spirit makes the choice to rejoice, your emotions, well, they eventually have no choice but to get in line. They are followers. So this really just breaks it down into two totally different ways of living. The world's lie says that feelings have to come before you can take action. But the kingdom truth, it flips that script completely on its head. You act first in obedience, and then your feelings will follow that action. Okay, so how does this actually work? What are the mechanics of it? It's really just two steps. First, your spirit makes a decision, a choice based on faith in God's word. And then step two, your emotions, maybe kicking and screaming at first, eventually have to submit. They fall into formation. They get in line with the truth your spirit has already declared. And this, my friends, is where it gets really, really good. This is not just about feeling a little bit better. Choosing joy is a powerful act of spiritual warfare. It's so much more than a mood. It's a weapon that literally changes the atmosphere around you. See, the second you choose to rejoice by faith, you are launching this weapon. You are basically looking at your feelings and saying, nope, God's word is truer. You're looking at your circumstances and saying, you don't get the final say here. And in doing that, you are silencing the enemy who desperately wants you discouraged and defeated. And that's why this is so powerful. Rejoicing when things are tough isn't being delusional. It's actually a diagnosis. You're not pretending the problem isn't there. What you're doing is diagnosing where your trust is really, truly placed, in the shaky ground of your feelings or on the solid rock of who God is. Okay, so how do we make this real, like right now? This isn't something you need to schedule for later. This is a 10-second shift. You can change your entire spiritual atmosphere this very moment, wherever you are.
It's just a simple, obedient prayer. You don't have to feel a thing to say it. You just open your mouth and say, Father, I choose to rejoice because your word commands it. You are good, you are faithful, you are with me, so I rejoice by faith. That's it. Simple, powerful, obedient.
And when you do that, I'm telling you, something happens. A shift. You can feel it. That heaviness starts to lift. The confusion starts to fade. The whole atmosphere around you just has to bend to the authority of your spirit leading the way, because your soul will always follow your spirit. So here's the takeaway. Here's the challenge for all of us. Stop waiting. Just stop waiting for the feeling, for the right mood, for the perfect moment to finally obey God. You know, heaven is not sitting around waiting for your feelings to get on board. Heaven is waiting on your obedience, your breakthrough, your victory, every bit of growth you're looking for. It's all waiting on the other side of this one simple, powerful choice. And that brings us right back to where we started, with the single command that changes everything. It's the secret to spiritual power, it's the key to victory, and it is the path to true, unshakable joy. Rejoice, and again I say rejoice.